Okay, so today I want to talk a little bit about a loading wall. Here's my box in the back of my car. And let's see here. So if you look down in here, the seat over here is not all the way back. I'll just move the belt. Okay. So you can see how much room is in there. It's like that's 2 fingers. The subs are also recessed in there. I've got 4 layers thick of plywood on the front. And essentially, there's just like a inch and a half room all the way down. And I was really concerned about this. Let me come to the side. I have to keep my back seat for my kids. I was really concerned about this hurting the quality and the volume. I know I had 215s in this car previously. Same orientation, firing forward, different box. But they were not nearly as loud when the seats were up. It definitely kind of muffled the sub some. And they were, I would estimate, about 2 dB down, maybe even 3 dB down with the seats up. I expected the same thing with this car, with this setup with the 10s. However, that didn't happen at all. You can see this back of the seat, some of the back of the seat is either foam or metal. But what happened is, in this instance, the subs are just far enough away, because you got about 2 inches before the front of the baffle, and then the subs are recessed, so from the dust cap to the back of the sub, maybe about 4 inches. And they're just far away that this actually acts, the seats actually act as a loading wall, which is kind of cool. But it only acts as a loading wall around tuning and up. So about 33, 34 hertz and up, it acts like a loading wall. Below that, this does actually, when the seats are up, it does actually cut down. So they're not nearly as loud. The subs are trying to move pretty freely, and the seats are just causing problems for it. But 34 hertz and above, what happens is the sub, as it moves forward, it actually pressurizes that air between the sub and the back of the seat, and that helps push it back. So it actually creates cone control and really helps the sub move quite a bit better. So it's interesting that the seats being folded up actually makes it sound better and sound louder. I haven't actually measured it to see the difference, but the seats folding up are not hurting it at all at above. Now, if I want to play 25 hertz, then I got to fold my seats down. It sounds awful. What's also really interesting is if I put stuff in my back seat. So if I sometimes I'll have groceries and I'll just pile them back here, and that completely destroys the sound of my bass. It sounds awful, which is interesting because the seats in the way don't. Anyways, here's my box. I need to screw this down. This top plate actually comes off, so I can do changes inside the box. We had to shave this down. These corners were actually touching the top of the glass, believe it or not. And it touches down there in that corner, touches in this corner, it touches in the front and on the bottom, and it almost touches the side. This box literally just could not be any bigger. It took like a month to build with a buddy of mine. It took me about 2 years to kind of figure out the design on how I could really maximize space in the back of this car, because it is tiny. Ignore the cables coming out of here. I only have this done right now because until I can figure out where the box is flexing, because where the box flexes, I need to add probably extra wood on the outside. I don't want to put speaker terminals in, because I need to know where those are going to be kind of best work for the functionality of the box. And I can't really do that testing with the box until I get more power, because like I said, I've only got about 2,000 watts. You can see my amps. I do have 4 Audio Legion 2500s. They're dirty because my kids keeping a car clean is hard when you got kids. But only one set's actually connected up right now. And I've only measured about 2100 watts. Now these are capable of about 3400 watts uncertified each. So 7K is really kind of upper end. I'm only getting 2100 watts. And that is because I have some serious voltage drop on my system. And that is a whole other topic, guys. I'll probably have to get into that with you at some point in time, all about the electrical system. Anyways, I want to talk a little bit more about the loading wall. So the loading wall, having the subs be able to bounce off of a wall near them really helps with cone control, and it helps with, I would say musically it helps as well. But it definitely helps us keep the subs from unloading. That's why people in the trunk of a car will fire the subs backwards into the trunk, because that helps with that cone control. Kind of can help them get a little louder. And I've seen people in vehicles maybe take a sealed box or ported box or whatever, and they'll actually aim it to the back or to the side. So you've only got like a few inches between the sub and the wall. That also acts like a loading wall. I think loading walls are probably greatly misunderstood and definitely underused, especially by the average bass person, because they just throw a box in. Now, this box, if I was to pump a ton of power to it, the subs might start to unload. What unload means is they just start to flop around. There's not enough pressure keeping that cone in control, because you really need pressure typically on the front and the back side. If you only have pressure on the back side from the box, then you could still have cone control issues, and you could definitely have unloading. That's what unloading is. So having some sort of pressure on both sides of a sub can really help overall with its cone control. Also, the cabin of the vehicle helps with that. Anyways, I rambled enough, guys. I'll let you go. Have a wonderful night, and I will catch you online tomorrow. Cheers.